It's what your worst nightmares are made out of. That there's actually monsters inside of your body. So here's the thing. What a lot of us are totally unaware of is that we have parasites. And I would be bold enough to say that 100% of the human population has parasites. Now, much like animals have parasites in which we got to treat them, we get them medicine to help them expel them and eradicate them out of their bodies, we are no different. We are an animal. And while we're a much more evolved animal, that doesn't keep us clear from getting parasites. Now, parasites are something I've been interested in for a very long time. I learned about them a while back. I had even done the parasite cleanse from Organic Olivia, which I speak about in one of my other videos. But since then, my determination for eradicating parasites has greatly increased thanks to doing a lot of international travel and learning about how some of the symptoms that I have experienced correlate with the symptoms that come from having parasites. So I want to share with you guys what I know about parasites, and please research and dive in deep into as much parasite information as you possibly can, because there's so much to know. The first thing though to know is if you go to a traditional Western practicing medical provider, doctor or whatever, you are probably going to get laughed at for bringing up the fact that you think you have parasites, or the symptoms that you're experiencing could be related to a parasite infection. You're laughed at because they're not ever taught about parasites in medical school. I mean, granted, they're barely even taught about nutrition, so parasites are not on their radar. So within the medical establishment, parasites are just an absolute joke. It's like snake oil. Talking to people about eradicating parasites is like snake oil speech to a lot of MDs. So please know that you might find it difficult to talk to a practitioner about parasites. You might want to find a holistic doctor, a naturopath, or maybe a more progressive Eastern practicing medical provider to talk to them about parasites. So please be aware of that first and foremost. So it's not unusual, we all have them, it's just a way of life. And in fact, you can never eradicate parasites from your body. And the truth of the matter is they lay eggs upon eggs upon eggs. And so while you think you may have expelled, the granddaddy of all parasites out of your system, the truth of the matter is they probably laid about 100 eggs the day before, and so you're just kind of on this cycle of managing your parasites and making sure that they don't exacerbate and get worse within your body. So please know this isn't an icky thing. Everybody has them. It's not common knowledge, and it's not common to talk about them. So yes, we all have parasites. Your doctor probably isn't going to know shit about them. But here's the symptoms related to parasite infection. PCOS, so polycystic ovarian syndrome, endometriosis, acne and eczema, allergies, inflammation, malnutrition, IBS, muscle joint achiness, gas and bloating, belching, anxiety. They really impact your mood, because what happens is once you start doing things to get healthier, and that means that they are essentially going to start possibly dying off within your body. These are a very smart, evolved, even though they're ugly and they're hideous, they're very smart and evolved. So they know what to do in order to keep you stuck and to keep them alive. So when you start to try to eradicate them, you will go through all kinds of mood flashes. You will get anxiety. You might have times where you just are bugging out, pun intended. And that's natural, and you just need to move through it. You need to understand it for what it is and just continue to try to eradicate it. But back to the other symptoms. So IBS, I said, weight loss or weight gain, sleeplessness, drooling in your sleep, food allergies, fatigue, forgetfulness, and something you will also find out through doing your research is that yeast and candida infections are typically co-infections. So if you have a yeast and candida exacerbation within your body, you are also going to have parasites. And if you have a lot of parasites within your body, you're also probably going to have a buildup of candida within your system as well. So those are just a fraction of the symptoms related to having parasite overgrowth within your body. So let's talk about ways you can get parasites. So this is why it's really hard to just completely rid your body of parasites. You can get them any which way, really. They come from sexual intercourse, swimming in dirty water, going barefoot. I am a free-loving barefoot hippie, and it kind of creeps me out to know that just by going barefoot, I am increasing my chances at getting parasites. I think it is hookworm. Hookworms, they burrow through your skin and end up within your body to take up home. So that's really weird. Another thing is traveling to other countries. So that's why I recently got into this big parasite kick, is because I've been to a lot of third world countries and I felt like absolute shit upon returning back home. So another thing is eating pork. Pork is a big one. If you eat a lot of pork, chances are you have a lot of parasites. Not only that, but sashimi as well. Sashimi is like a feeding ground. It's chock full of parasitic eggs. So every time you eat sashimi, you are infesting yourself, which kind of sucks because I do love sashimi. Not only that, but rare or undercooked meat. Cooked meat can do it as well, but if you are somebody who eats meat, it's just a give and take. You gotta understand that if you're gonna eat meat, you're probably gonna get parasites. So just like me, I love to be barefoot, but I'm not gonna stop being barefoot. So I just need to manage it. Another thing is from pets and livestock. You know, letting your dog lick you on the face, just being around cats even. Cats have a really gnarly parasite. If you look into that, it will really freak you out. And then you can get parasites from other humans as well. You know, like shaking hands with somebody who didn't really clean their hands after going to the bathroom. Any kind of contact where, you know, you're exchanging bodily fluids as well increases your chances of getting parasites. So as you can see, if you want to avoid parasites, you pretty much have to live in a bubble, and nobody's going to do that. So at this point, you just have to understand you need to do a practice of maintenance in order to establish a healthier system within your body. Your maintenance will probably look similar to mine. So initially, like I mentioned, I did Organic Olivia's Parasite Cleanse. And that was a good start for me, but I have since gone on to do other methods to eradicate parasites. So for one, I completely rely on my diet being the first and foremost defense mechanism from parasites. So I never really cared for pork, so pork is out the window. I don't eat pork. I've ditched sashimi. I watch what I drink when I'm in other countries to be sure that I'm not taking in something. You know, if you yourself are eating a standard American diet, you know, you're eating raw meat or undercooked meat, you're eating a lot of sugar, processed carbs, those things feed parasites. So if you don't want the parasites in you to get bigger, you don't want them to breed more, you want them to die off, it's important to change the foods in which you're eating to more whole foods, plant-based food. Get rid of all of the processed foods, you know, like the Twinkies, pancakes, artificial shit, candy bars, all of that stuff. If you can manage to get rid of that stuff, you're going to start to change the atmosphere in which the parasites are living in your system. And if you aren't feeding them all of those things that they love, all of those sweets, then you're going to start to have some die-off. Another thing I love to do in order to eradicate parasites is I've gone through and done a slew of coffee enemas and different enemas as well. And through doing the enemas, I have eradicated and expelled a whole lot of parasites. So that for me is my go-to for getting rid of parasites or doing parasite maintenance. If you Google and you look into other parasite ways to expel them, there's so many different over-the-counter holistic kind of medications that help to eradicate parasites. I mean, as I had mentioned, here in the US we think that parasites are a thing that animals deal with or people in the third world deal with, but the truth of the matter is we all have parasites. So the best thing you can do is become okay with that fact and understand that it's better that they're out than in. And just by you being freaked out and not doing anything isn't going to help your eczema or your fibromyalgia, the pain you experience, your agitation, your anxiety. So if you want those things to get better, you have to do this. You want these things out. So by doing this, you will have a better chance at a better way of health. And also, it is important to mention that other countries, in South Africa, I have a friend who told me on a Facebook post, she said, it's not an issue over here. We just see it as normal protocol that every 6 months, we and the kids take some kind of parasite medication to get rid of the parasites. So even in places like South Africa, they understand the importance of doing proper parasite protocols to help expel parasites for a better, healthy way of life. So if you thought this was helpful and you love my hand movements, please give this a thumbs up, like it, share it with people, and also please subscribe to my channel because I have a lot of other related videos on parasites, coffee enemas, all that kind of crazy holistic hippie mumbo jumbo snake oil stuff. So have a great day. Thank you so much.